What's up guys, Steve again from RC Tanks and Trucks 24/7, and here we are up to pack 2 for the awesome Mitsubishi A6M 0 by Agora models. Let's get into it. So this is pack 2 and it continues on to stage 6. You download the instructions to follow through, but quickly let's go through some of these parts. Now, like in the original video, they are a combination of metal and plastic parts. Awesome stuff. Really nice quality as well. Everything's packaged nicely. This part we actually have a little electric motor. That's why we have a little 2-pack of AA batteries, I believe. Not too sure, or 3-pack, but a pack of AA batteries there to power the little electric motor, which is there, which obviously attaches to the prop. It goes inside the actual fake engine and makes it spin, which is pretty damn cool if you ask me. I love modelling. I love putting things together, more so painting. So these Agora models are perfect for that. Let's not waste too much time. That's all the packages in this particular stage. So let's get it all going and see in a bit. Good thing about these instructions, everything is really easy to follow. When you see here stage 6, 06, that is a number that's on top of the packet there. So you got 6, and obviously you go down to 7, which will be the this stage here. It says there 7. Really easy to follow. Also does include a pair of tweezers, which is nice. First step is attaching these two cylinder banks together to form one, and once you do that, a bit of super glue is all you need to hold that on, and all we need to put on top is the valve caps. Very similar to the other video I did, nothing new here, so I'll do that and I'll show you how it looks. Now that's how it should look when it's together. When you're doing the valve covers, just make sure that little nub is facing outwards. That one wasn't glued on obviously, but place it on there, a bit of glue, and that's it. Okay, now really easy. This part here you would get from pack 1. You get that part out now, and these cylinder banks that you just put together, they are all labelled A. There's a small A there, and they go into the corresponding mounts or slots in this metal piece from the first pack that you got originally. And they simply just go like this, put into the holes, a bit of a pressure fit, just like that, and that is all you do for that. Now you also get the 7 bank of motors you made in the previous video as well, and the last step for this stage is these small little covers here. They go on top of the cylinders. They are keyed, just sits in just like that. So it just says a bit of super glue in all of those. There are 7 of these, well, and 1 spare, so you get 8, you get 1 spare, and that is click in, or not click, but glue in to the top of the cylinders, just in there, and that kind of finishes them off. So I'll put all 7 of these on, and this stage will be done, and that's it. 7 of those covers are on. This is step number 6, along with putting these 4 cylinder banks on that part. That's all there is to it. So on to step 7. Now some of these steps there are not many things to do, so you know this will be very similar. So this step 7 is going to be gluing these cylinder banks together and also putting those valve covers on as well. So like I mentioned, stage 8, I didn't want to show you putting these all together. You've seen this enough. Put the 2 cylinder banks on, and then the I guess the other timing covers or whatever, but they are called part B. And you also see I've got 1 already in there, and you place it into the channel just like the previous one, and that's it. We also have this part here, but it's not being used as yet. So that's it, stage 7. Like I said, really simple. I'm not going to show you putting these banks and everything together. You've seen that many a times. So we'll go to stage 8, which is more engine parts. Okay, stage 8 is completing the last cylinder bank. I think there's 7 on each, so this is the 14th one, and that is that. Now what it says is obviously line it up into the correct position there with the other 6. Take them all out, because you have to be connecting these tiny rods. Now are these the, I'm not too sure, the like lobes that connect to the camshaft? Not too sure entirely of these motors, but you see on the side of the cover there you have a little hole. Now this tiny little rod has to go in there just like that, and you have to do them on every single cylinder bank, so it looks like this. just like that. So in the interest of time, I'm going to do them off camera, but basically you do one on every side and you put them all around until you finish them all, and you end up with it looking like that. So I think from me swearing on camera, I'll do that off camera and I'll show you when I actually have them all mounted, and you can actually finish them off with this end plate, and that closes them all up. So it looks like this guy here. I'm not going to lie, I probably did say a swear word here or there, but there you go. Now the problem is the distance between some cylinders vary, so the length of these pieces does not necessarily correlate to the length that is needed in between there, so you need to cut some down. For example, if I line that up there, you can see that this top, that little piece is a bit longer than the gap needed, so you need to cut it down, move it around, get it around, and you eventually end up with this. Now, it is what it is now. It's nice and locked and loaded once this plate is on. You get 3 screws, you get 1 spare, and you lock this plate down, it locks it together. So it looks similar now. What I'm scared of, I have to do it to this cylinder bank as well. You've got 7 cylinders to do that too as well. But it is what it is. That is done now. Next step is easy. We've done that on the first video, to cut these pieces off and glue them to the top of the cylinder banks just like that. That is it. Looking good. Very, very fiddly part. I think this might be the fiddliest part of the whole build. Luckily this step is really easy. Put glue on these little holes there and you can just slide this top cover, well not top cover, but piece in, and that's it. There is that, and you can have to be careful because you can bend these very easily. But there we go. Now what I was thinking, oh cool, I'll wait for another step to do these other parts on this engine bank, but no, we have to do it now. So you have to unscrew this top plate, pull it off, and do exactly what I just did for this bank. Happy days. Right, there we have it. Yep, it was a little bit frustrating, but we did get it done. Nothing too easy. So that is stage 8. Now stage 9 is really easy. Here's all the parts needed, and actually we don't really need these two at the moment. All we need is these 7 pieces here, which are going to go on top of the cylinders, just like we did previously. There we go, there, just there. And that was it. So I'll just do that, we've already seen it, and I go to stage 10. Okay, so stage 9 was done, just place those covers on the top of the cylinders there. Stage 10 is fairly easy as well, it's just 1 page pretty much. You get these parts just here, and this little, kind of like a bracket. Now you got to get this piece from the previous video, and it's really easy. All you do is you get this part, and you slide it in just like that until it clicks in. There is nothing else to it. That is all for stage 10. Now 11 is the motor, so I'll get that for you now. 11 is the motor, and it uses parts from stage 10, which are these two. It's like a little bracket that surrounds it. We'll screw that together, as you see, and that's all it is. So screw it together, put on that little cap, and that is it. But look at that motor. It's tiny. Quickly wanted to show you the motor. So it's got 2 halves to this, and you've got to make sure that you have the correct half. It's got these 2 little lugs, and they correspond with this little jack that's going to supply the power. What we need to do obviously is close it back up, use the 2 screws, make sure your wires aren't getting pinched, and that is it. Lock and loaded. Okay, stage 11 is complete, and that was this. That's the motor locked inside these brackets, and this little end piece as well just slipped on. Stage 11 continues. This is from the previous stage, and this is from one of the early stages in the first video. Now this simply just glues on. It's got these little lugs in there and these holes, and line everything up and just glue it all down just like that. So I'll glue that down, and then what we'll do, we'll feed this part in the center. Well, I forgot to film that part, but basically you get cylinder or the bank 9 and 8, you have to slide them on that shaft. Now make sure you do it in the right order. The first one is 9, the second one here is 8. Now I will take it off, but it's a very tight fit, and if everyone's ever done this, they'll know it's very delicate. You don't want to pull it out and pull it back in again, but that is it. So you've got to make sure 9 and then 8, slide it in there, and that is it. So far so good. I was getting pretty nervous. I was like, oh damn, I forgot to film, but you get the drift, sorry. Now, the next part is we've got to connect all the wires up. It's got a very easy to follow diagram there, but yeah, I think it's going to take a while to do. And thankfully they've got those little tweezers there, so I'm going to make sure I connect them where they go. I'm not going to bore you with that because I want to keep this fairly short, these videos. I don't want to keep them too long, but yeah, there we go. I'll show you how we look. Wish me luck. Yeah, that so far was definitely the hardest part, routing all these cables around and gluing it everywhere. I'm not sure if it needs glue. It might be a pressure fit, but some of them I couldn't get actually in to the hole, so I kind of cut them a little bit narrower and stuck them in. I used super glue. And funny thing, well, the disadvantage of using super glue, it leaves some white residue, but in this instance it looks pretty good. It kind of looks like the dry brushing technique, so I'm pretty happy about that. But that's it, that's all of them on. Now another step, which was exactly step 3 for stage 11, was sliding this. I tried to get it back off, but it's sliding this piece on the back, and they're like the what are they, push rods, and they line up with each of the rockers at the back of the cylinder heads. So that's that. So one more step in stage 11, and that is gluing this section on front. And you can see that it's got these specific keys here, and they are these little lugs. You see there's 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now obviously the two closer ones will lock into here, and that will be super glued down just like that. So wow, it's taken so long to get to this point, but man, that does look super detailed. Stage 12, not much involved. Here's a battery pack. So I said double A's in the beginning, but it's 3 AAA batteries, some exhaust pieces, and this ring piece as well. Now this is from a previous stage. All you need to do is glue this on here. It's got specific lugs. See, these two go to here. Bang, bang. And that's it. Stage 12 is done. Okay, stage 13, you get some more exhausts. Just here. And also 4 screws. Now, you get this other piece which is metal from the previous build. And these are the flaps that go inside all the cowlings, the adjustable cowlings that go inside, so the outside of the motor. So basically, they're all numbered. You got A, B, C, D, and E. First, you need B, D, E. I think A, B, C, D, E here. Sorry, don't know my alphabet. You just kind of hang them on here, and they don't require any glue because they move. So they just go like this. Pretty fiddly, but it can be done. So just go on there, and they kind of hang on there. Once they're hanging like that, then you cap it off with the other piece and secure it. Just this one here, so this one goes over the top. Well, once you put your screws in, you see what I mean. Once you put them down, you can hold them and they'll adjust. Just like that. Pretty cool. Not much to it. I'll screw those down and I'll show you how it looks. This is where the included screwdriver comes in handy because these screws are really tiny. Screw these down, don't go crazy with them. That's it. So as you can see, when you flick these open, they can move. Pretty cool. Now the only one that doesn't move, and the only one you need to glue, is A. This one is number A, so it goes A, B, C, D, E. So A just goes in here and you glue that to it, and that is it. So I'll glue that off camera, and then we're up to stage 14. So stage 14 is exactly the same as stage 13. I'm not going to bother showing you that. It's simple as that. You do need to glue one of them as well, and then we can actually attach this to the front of the actual motor, and I'll show you that when I'm finished this part. So there we go. That's how it looks, all set up, ready to lock on now. There's 3 locating pins on the back of the engine. There's one just here, here and here, and they correspond with 3 lugs there. So it's got to line them up. I had to re-drill them out a little bit because they're a little bit tight to get it all in there. But once I did that and locked it away, it was good because everything's fine tolerances here. So once you locked it in, that's it. I'll let it dry and we'll go to the next step. Wow, that took some time. I had to, like I said before, this cowling that holds these adjustable cowlings for the engine, I guess, to cool down. I'm not too sure exactly what their role is. The pins went aligned, so I had to kind of bore them out a little bit. The exhausts here were a bit hard as well. I actually broke one of these little nub here that kind of, because you've got to push the exhaust into these little holes, into the manifold, and then sometimes you can't bend it over this little nub here, or it's like a little pin. It's kind of difficult, so you have to kind of work a little bit, and this one I just busted off. It says don't glue it into the manifold, but I've just glued these onto the outer silver ring there, so it kind of holds it steady. But that's how they look. Looks pretty cool. I think I'm not too sure if that was how it's supposed to look, but yeah, it is. I'm looking on the manual, and it can't go down any further as well in the into the cylinders. So that is it. Check it. That took some time, and in the process sometimes I've knocked off a few of these spark plug leads, but you know, it's so far buried in there you're not going to notice once it's in the cowling. But there you go. That is some super impressive detail. I've got to admit that was a bit of a challenge, but it's not meant for amateurs either. Now it's saying for the rest of this build, before you get to stage 14, you can put on the actual cowling. So the recessed part, or the flat top here, that's where the top cowling goes, just like that. And because it's magnetic, it just kind of snaps together fairly easily. And that is it. There we go. Check out that. Wow. That took some time, but as you can see, really nice detail. And if you want to get into it, you can. These lift up just like that, except for the bottom two, to see the glorious engine. Wow. Keep saying it, but yeah, took some time, but definitely is worth it. You can take off the bottom cowling like that, and the top one, and leave it exposed fully like that. And last step for this particular stage, before we get to the last one for this video, is putting on this propeller. Apparently you just slide it on. There we go there. Sweet. And before I get to the last step, just want to make sure it all works. Plugged in the little jack, just like a headphone jack. Turned it on. Nice. It's even spinning the right way. Very cool. Okay, lastly, stage 15, pretty simple. It's got some of these parts it's got to glue together. I'm not going to bore you with that. It's just these small parts here. And it's got some actual, it's got electronic board here or something like that as well. So that's got to go in there as well. But nothing too exciting. Don't want to leave the video pretty short, but that's what we're going to end up with. Well, that completes this pack. There we go. That's what you end up with. Little simple unit. It must be that goes inside. I'm not exactly sure. It looks like a duct of some sort. I'm not sure. Any Zero fans, leave them down below. So the biggest obstacle on this was building this guy. Now obviously it wasn't all from this video. The previous video had parts that joined it, but wow, that definitely took some time, but it was worth it. If you're more interested, please leave the link down. Check out the link down below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't, please subscribe. We have also the next pack here, which is the cockpit, which looks really fun to build. So subscribe if you want to keep on top of that. Plus I got the new Leopard tank as well, so really cool. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.